Yes, maybe it's the idea. I think maybe the value of like the cold embracing some of these fights. Like Entity, they just want long, annoying fights. Allow Bloodseeker to scale up from his first, and then to rip through and just kind of clean everyone up. So maybe they were looking at Visage is very tanky. Veno can be annoying. Now you have this like Winter Wyvern that's keeping everyone alive even longer. It could just be a war of attrition potentially.
See it. So he'll be doing what he can against MATUMBAMAN, because obviously once the lane starts, I mean, is it sort of what the panels say? You know, this Naga Siren isn't going to care too much about the Venom and the Wyvern. Matu's pretty safe up here.
Yeah, pretty much. It's also a little bit level based because of course your cooldown of your ult is 40 seconds, Gale's 21. So in the early levels there will be maybe 2 Gales for every 1 mirror image. But yeah, this is Matu, see here, brush it off, keep farming. Once he gets to like level 4 or 5 more points in the illusion, he's going to be happy days farming. And this is going to be the big concern right now for Entity, is the fact that there will be this kind of constant farm of Naga appearing in this top lane. Whilst on the other side, we haven't mentioned it, Boxy's playing this Death Prophet. He's playing a position 4 DP, often it's 5. But no, we're going to see, double range bullying in the offlane.
And we saw last game Zai have a very good start straight away from the laning setup. Is this another one of those games when you look at the situation that Zai's in? Could we see him have quite an impact from very early on with this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, Bloodseeker's a hero that needs to thrive within his own sustain. You put it into a lane where there's also sustain, it's going to slightly devalue that Bloodseeker. I think any game where there's that constant threat of a Scythe appearing out of nowhere, you see his itemization in the previous game, quickly going for like a blink second, third item. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again, just constant fear of if we get put to half HP, poof, he appears, he dies.
On bottom lane, Boxy.
He's actually the one going down first.
First blood for Crystallis.
The twin shall not thirst.
Yeah, good old
for
Bloodseeker lanes. Again, I don't want to mention it, this Lantern in the bot lane really is the death of everyone. But no, there it is. Bane Bloodseeker. Pretty much Bloodseeker thrives in any support or laning partner that provides some type of stun or slow. Pairing with the Blood Right, you should be getting some kills. Also, I'll use the downtime in this laning phase to apologize for the previous game. With the Weaver pronouncing germinate. So
I didn't notice that. Yeah.
No, I did, yeah. I don't know why, mate. It just happened. It's just something I was raised on.
But then is it geminate or geminut?
Well, it's probably not Geminut.
Okay, I guess that sounds a bit silly.
It does sound a bit silly, Owen, yeah.
Geminut. Geminate.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice little geminate, not a nut.
No.
Yeah, sorry everyone for my mispronunciation.
Well, Crystallis. A lot of damage from Boxy. And even Fishman's got to be a bit careful. I mean, they're trying to bait Zai actually into some action. Really poking at one another down bottom.
This bot lane's amazing. It's a lot of spells being thrown at each other. Everyone's got a stick or a wand, dicing with death, and even with top lane to some degree. Matu's just complete free farm, looking at 15 for 2, rushing off whatever entity's throwing at him. Overall, a very solid start from Liquid in the laning phase.
Trying with the setup again. Very hard for Crystallis to get aggressive once Boxy lays down the siphons. And now Fishman.
My thanks.
He's got nothing to save himself. He goes down. I mean, but they're really trying to set something up with the Nightmare Bloodbright, but that was fighting into these two heroes is proven to be very difficult.
Both heroes, like, if you don't kill them within your moment of like CC or silence, they're going to be able to turn it around with some type of sustain, be it the Bane with like a brain sap, the Necro with the heal. You have to be super careful, and I think that bot lane fight, that was so close. Like the silence and then getting off the hill, like it was a matter of marginal seconds was the difference between maybe Entity getting another kill in the bot lane. That's some nice little harass coming, but they already have the Salve available. Poison Sting not cancelling Salve, of course, therefore Matu still having that one quite healthily go through. And yeah, haven't mentioned much about the mid lane, but we're going to have a Stormer Visage currently in the pub scene.
Come on, T, pronunciation.
Visage.
I'll give you that, unless, wait, am I right? No, because Visage is the real word, right?
But I've always been told it's Visage.
No, but he says Visage.
Okay, we'll go with Visage.
Because Visage as a word, that is how he pronounced it, but as his name.
All right.
He says Visage. Unless I'm getting it completely flipped on its head. It's one of...
You know what, we'll unify.
I'm pretty sure, you imagine his voice, he goes like, Visage.
Visage, yeah, it just sounds like, yeah, Visage. Sounds
like Visage.
But it sounds better, does it not?
Well, Visage is how you properly say the word.
Yeah, I mean...
Right? It was a French word.
So am I wrong for doing it properly?
No, you're forgiven. That's why I said I'll let you off.
Thank you. So Visage, in the pub scene, we are seeing multiple variations of the build. We're seeing the Boots of Bearing being an option, the Agadins and the Assassin. Also seeing the Orchid build and Hunt.
Nice micro here from Matu.
Nice body blocks, yeah.
See if he's going to quite get the kill. Not quite. In fact, Matu himself sitting. He's ticking down low, but he's got the one charges. Everybody getting rather low.
Everyone's
probably
so
to
low.
the delight of Crystalis.
Unfortunately, because it's his own team. Look at the bars on top. I guess only Matu,
I guess it's just Matu. Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's just one hero.
No, that would be a sick shard. Thirst now applies to teammates as well. Everyone's just buying armlet, like, go Bloodseeker, go! Alright, Ice Frog, I know you're listening. I should change the Ags. We don't want to see this.
You're not a fan of the Ags?
It's just a bit naff.
No, we still. I think we did see it built in one game.
It's like pure damage to yourself, and you just bleed relentlessly, and it's just a bit, it's just not as cool as the old Rupture. Maybe there's some scenarios where it could be cool, but I've yet to see it be correctly used because I just think it's not that good.
Yeah. Well, they call it blood mist. I mean, yeah, you miss the opportunity to win when you buy it. Thank you, T.
That's right, mate.
No, I don't think we'll see Crystalis go that route today. What do you imagine he is thinking? So he's got the Maelstrom queued up first. He's just sort of Maelstrom BKB runner. Does he need a BKB this game?
I'd like to see him get a BKB. Of course, there's the value of destruction in your enemy team and stuff like that, but being able to eke through the song when you commit.
Oh, for sure, that's true. Yeah, he wants to be able to commit for the kill on Matu.
I've seen so many games of Crystalis on his Bloodseeker. He gets the Phase, the Maelstrom, SMY BKB, maybe a shard after the fact, and he's honestly ripping through these fights, just being very patient and entering when needed. And his lineup, it is built around that. The Veno, the tick damage of Poison Nova, Visage, that's really hard to do. Entering the fights by blowing up a hero or just being just pesky, scouting out with the birds. So they have a really nice lineup. They just need to get the items to do it. Of course, Liquid, super defensive, like we've already mentioned. Be it the Song, the Disruption, the Necro, even Arena to some degree is very defensive. And it's very even early on.
Let's get into that scary point down bottom now.
He might, he's got... He doesn't have a wall.
Nikkei's there. That was an easy move for him. Just makes his way down bottom. A quick spear finishes off Crystalis. Fishman still managed to TP out in the trees, but that's going to leave this lane exposed for Liquid to really push in. And elsewhere, Insania, damage is done. They take down Toby. Liquid starting to ramp things up once again here, as we saw from them in game 2. The lane's off to a hot start.
Yeah, and I said it was a little bit even, but yeah, those couple moves just helps build a little bit of a lead. Mickey didn't lose much mid. He collected the creep wave, back to farming a small camp. They're just nice fluid moves. Of course, that wasn't a catapult wave, so we're not going to be seeing towers fall from that type of rotation. But if you're entity, you have to have that in the back of your mind, that at that 10-minute mark when the catapults start running down the lane, you're going to expect Liquid most likely to group up.
But for Storm on the Visage, so what is the plan? You get the Orchid and then you're just constantly on the hunt?
Pretty much, yeah. Like, when I just mentioned Liquid going to group up, it's pretty much like Mars joining with the Necro and the DP, hitting some towers, whilst like SD makes stacks for Naga. Like, Liquid never really crosses the river as like 5 heroes. The early portion of the game, at best, it's going to be 3 or 4 looking for this fight. Whilst Entity, they'll happily bring every hero, especially with an early Orchid or something.
See what they can do mid. Good familiar drops here to make sure our setup's not going to be fully there. Stormer's fine. Okay. Gonna be able to find himself an easy bit of a catch here on Fishman.
Radiant's bottom tower
just
is
connecting
under
the correct heroes that need to be fighting right now. Foxy, how far? Okay, he does have level 6. Not put a point in his ultimate yet.
I mean, asking with these moves, you know, Top.
Oh, get away from me, said the Veno.
Under attack. Dire's middle tower is
That's
under
going to work.
attack.
Meanwhile,
Middle
back
tower
over.
has fallen.
And the jungle Mickey is looking for more. He's managed to catch Chrysalis. Chrysalis, he's got nowhere to run.
And the Wyvern as well. He's just dying.
I mean, Boxy A's going to start running down Katsuomi as well. And with the Siphon damage, he's got
He
to
can just
kill.
keep going.
Yeah, he's going to turn over towards Fishman. I mean, Stormstormer has turned up with an extra bit of firepower from the familiars.
Get the hill.
Oh,
Hill,
can he
hill,
get the
hill.
time? Boxy is so low, but indeed with the stick charges, Zai turns up, slams down the side on Stormstormer. Boxy does die at the end of it all, but not before he's got himself a triple kill there, causing some real chaos there in the jungle of Entity. That's actually position 4 DP popping off.
Yeah, and that's the pre-level 10, level 6 DP running around with Exo, just killing everything. And I think a product of that was...
Look at that damage.
That's a lot of damage. No, look at the Visage though. Look at the build. Oh, I want to click on the dead Visage. This is the important thing. The reason why I think he's survived so long, he's gone for a 4-1-3 build. Not that explosive nuke. Going for laning damage. Being super annoying with the first spell, which is what is it? What we say? Grave Chill. My brain's not very good right now, but yeah. Stormstorm going for very laning orientated stuff, which allows Boxy to play with that aggression because you're not just getting nuked. Very independent build, but this will be the type of build that will, once he gets Orchid, he's going to solo find people and kill them independently.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle
Liquid
tower is under
smoking
attack.
up, trying to keep the map open for MATUMBAMAN to farm.
Yeah, they don't want to lose these early tier 1s to the push of the Visage that easily. There's the initiation. Mickey now to jump forward.
He died rather quickly. The DD Mars just ripping through the Visage. Zai, no mana on Bane, and also it's just 2 support.
Yeah, not a lot though.
Yeah, not a lot of damage.
Well, those 2 can do on their own. Now pop the fortification, but Zai will be finishing off this tier 1 tower.
And look, you see here, guys, Zai on the Necrophos without the Enchantress and that creep. He went for the Hood first, the Urn. He didn't rush the Boots of Travel because, again, the dynamic of the game changed, his team changed, therefore itemization changed. Just worried that someone's going to look at that game and go, guys, I'm going to rush bots on Necro. It's the build, boys. If you buy a pipe in this game, just tank up. You got to mitigate that Poison Nova, which then subsequently prevents the Thirst of Bloodseeker kicking in. The pipe will be very high value when he eventually gets it. Hopefully he does complete it in this
Dire's
game.
top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And you see Entity, they're trying to break down the map quite slowly. It's not the
Radiant
traditional sense of
structures are fortified.
Venomancer doing it. It is Stormstormer slowly brute forcing.
I see Boxy. I mean, he's just standing here beating onto the tier 1 tower. No cares in the world.
There's not really any stuns from Entity
Not
to
yet.
care about, right? Like, he's living the best life.
Feels he's pretty unkillable. And it's definitely proven to be the case. Entity, they're not able to punish him for getting up on their high ground.
You'll succeed at him. About 1,600 gold in the lead to Naga compared to Bloodseeker.
This gold lead's looking pretty scary this early on.
It is, but I think Bloodseeker will always be able to at least muster some type of fight up until maybe like Manta Skadi Butterfly territory. I think before that, you could maybe argue killing off everyone else, Naga won't be able to truly 1v9. So I think there's still like a good 15-20 minute window with Entity able to take some cheap fights and not feel too pressured, but they have to try and bring the Naga to the fight or find the Naga in a smoke. If they're taking kind of blind 5-on-4 smokes, like going even, not breaking down the map, then for sure this will be a Naga doubling the net worth of Entity soon. But he's completely uncontested, positioned aggressively, putting illusions down the lane, buffering himself so that he isn't the one always getting hit first.
Oh, quick jump from Mickey. Catch Fishman out in the river, they'll drop the scythe.
Didn't die to the scythe though. Technically, yeah, I don't think he died, so not getting the stack.
Oh, Mickey's already on to the next objective here. He's looking towards Toby with the cold embrace. I'll protect Toby for now. Stormstormer turns with the silence over towards Zai, but Zai, no further damage coming in, so barely taking any loss to his HP at all there, Zai. Matu's getting him past the tower. See him turning up now with the Manta style. Liquid very much feeling their strength and ready to bring the fight straight in. We'll see the spear. Try to time it here for the TP coming in from Fishman, but ends up being a bit longer than Mickey expects.
Would you like to get a rewind on that one, Owen?
That wasn't that close, that one.
No,
it was a long TP.
It was just a question. Just a question. Want to make that the running bit. Need to bring VIR to Dota more often, actually. Smoke up from Entity. Yeah, fair play. And like I mentioned, they need to try and get this Orchid into a killing stance.
I feel it. This moment's passing. MATUMBAMAN.
It's a 7k lead to Liquid. It's a bit rough. They gotta get a kill. Gotta get something.
And this build as well from Matus are going for the Manta style straight into the Ags.
Okay. We have seen some Nagas do this. And it's simply because you want to be able to prevent that BKB timing, right? If he runs at you, this Bloodseeker all about movement, in and out. You net him, you can just walk away. Honestly, very, very powerful. But it's more about enabling your team at that point. Also the cast range, of course. Yeah, Entity, they're opting just to defend their own tower. It kind of is this Wyvern, this Bane combo. It's about lockdown, it's about sustain, but they're not great at smoking up and surprising someone with the kill. They rely on each other. They rely on the Visage and the Veno grouping together, going for the fight, and they've not done that yet because of how poorly the lanes went for them. Sure, you have an Orchid on Visage, but still, they're missing that little something to connect the dots. And meanwhile, Liquid, they identify that. They're not making any moves. They're just farming the map. They're peacefully doing their things. See, this is the awkwardness, like the Bane poking in. But if the Bane was to find someone there, probably wouldn't have led to a kill.
Oh yeah, it does feel very tough to do anything with their heroes. At this point, at least until Chrysalis is ready to turn up and charge in with the BKB.
Yeah, exactly. That is the timing they're looking for. Once you get the BKB, hopefully the Naga doesn't have the Aghanims at the same point, just to completely mitigate it, and then you get to maybe run through them. Again, it is like an uphill battle.
Oh, here's the jump.
Radiant's middle tower.
Found Chrysalis in the arena now. Get the spear connection. TPs are coming in. See a Nightmare come out trying to protect Chrysalis. They're keeping him alive, but Boxty can stay on target. Finishes off the job. Return for more with the silence. Chasing them out with the sniper. I mean, look how much space here. Boxty's just forcing back pretty much 3 heroes. He's now going to go for the TP out, so they don't even get to turn and kill him. That's 2 dead on Entity. The rest having to back off. I mean, they're really struggling with this support DP.
You'll have Scythe.
See them try and turn back in onto the side. They've got the silence.
He has Hood. He has Hood. Use the Hood.
There we go. But they have the burst. They bring down Zai. I mean, considering everything else that's going on, that's a pretty sizable kill for Entity to get off the back of the engagement.
No, that is at least something. If they weren't able to get Zai there, if he was able to shroud Hill, get a Scythe kill of his own, and then retreat, that would have been devastating. You can see the kind of the inkling, the lack of damage coming out from Entity. If they're not ahead, if they're not running over their opponent, it isn't really going to come through. You start with the arena, sure, whatever about the spear, but Chrysalis without BKB getting ran down by this position 4 DP.
Yeah.
Just look how well he just builds this like imaginary rule. He just like, okay guys, you retreat, I can just run back in. There's a curse on the side just to keep the Wyvern alive a little bit.
They just can't get past this Death Prophet.
It's just a 1v3, yeah. They get a little bit optimistic with the fight. Zai nearly going down.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? It was the Soul Assumption that catches him with the big burst at the end, or?
Yeah, but he had 1 second cooldown on the range up, actually. If he had the range up, maybe he could have lived there, but very marginal stuff.
I see Mickey having a good time there.
I mean, they're just running over their opponent. Naturally, it feels good to be in the lead. He just looked at Matu's screen. Oh, wait, they're not at the boot camp. All right, take that one back.
Matu's farm.
A 3k away from doubling the Bloodseeker.
It's pretty impressive here. He's having a lovely old game on the Naga Siren. That last pick, definitely feeling to be exactly what was best here for Liquid. As Matu with the Ags done. pretty much shutting down that one avenue that maybe Chrysalis would have been able to turn up and fight with us. Liquid, they're ready to make the moves top. Then with the arena on a Stormer and Fishman. See Zai trying to step up for the side. Corner Bridge will come out, start to heal Fishman. See Toby turn with the ultimate, but the side still comes in to finish off the Bane. As Entity, they're having to run away from this side. Gets caught by the side, but Mickey's in with the jump. There'll be a buyback coming out from Fishman. Maybe Entity can turn something around here. They look towards Mickey. They'll be able to catch him with a familiar stun. Put a stop to the TP. See if they can get their hands on anything else. See Stormer closing the gap on Insania. They will control him. The stuns in the burst of Chrysalis now with a mouse to right click. That's the second kill for the Bloodseeker. So if they can push it for even more, Liquid still hovering around, showing that they're not afraid to fight, even outnumbered, considering the lead that they have, and then Entity will respect that. But again, a little bit of a punch back from Entity, and getting those 2 kills on Chrysalis will continue to help him close that gap on Matu.
Yeah, we're seeing the effect of Entity's lineup, like what they could do if the network was even, right? It's that sustain, the turnaround, prolonging the engagement. When Liquid, they initiate, like the Mars, he's either in the fight or he's out, you know, like there's no way for him to like awkwardly disengage. So when he blinks in that aggressively and Entity's in position, they can punish him. Likewise, like the Naga right now, he pauses are one of the hardest things in Dota to understand, because like you have the momentum, the feeling of the game where people are, you pause. One person in your team says something that isn't about the game, completely break kind of like the mojo of what the team's trying to go through. So it's gonna take a good, 10-20 seconds for team just to quickly, reset.
Back in the vibe.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A little bit easier for Liquid because they are in the lead. The BKB, it's coming out for Entity. And Liquid, they're smoking right into it.
Radiant.
Oh, poor fish, man.
Oh,
Radiant's top tower.
That's what you get for going to the toilet.
that's what he's got. Easy jump there for Liquid, and another tower's taken as well. Liquid, they'll keep this kind of momentum going. Roshan's at the ready if they want to step into the pit. Yep, Matu. He'll head in and start this off.
Annex though as well. An uncontestable Roshan, some might say. Right now, it's just, Matu will be picking up the Sages. He'll be looking to enter the middle of the fight now. We'll probably see less of Boxy trying to be that buffer, and instead it will be Matu's kind of taking the reins, opening up the fight for his team with that Aegis. There's TPing to bot lane. You'll spawn his illusions down here, sweep through the map, and force Entity to that left-hand corner, only allowing them maybe, 3-4 camps compared to the bigger access to the main jungle. Entity, their moment, it's somewhat coming. It's going to be, Stormer with the Aghanims, survive through the Aegis, and then look to unlock the fight with maybe picking off the SD at the start of the fight. Bloodseeker running through to the backlines as well. But it doesn't feel clean because you don't have stuns. You're relying on Veno hitting a big ult, people getting low, Bloodseeker zooming around, and kind of all the pieces aligning. But there will be a window in the game post-Aegis that with one well choreographed smoke, it can maybe at least surprise Liquid. And it's not an easy thing. All 3 cores are so painful to kill. Naga, of course, with Song and Illusions. Necro with Lotus Orb and Hood. Mars about to complete BKB. It will be an uphill battle for Entity.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're trying to find maybe a member of Liquid out on their own. It's not happening. Liquid not in a position to get caught out. And again, we've just sort of overall this series seen Liquid really tighten it up after what was a bit of an all over the place game one, which definitely lent itself towards being a very entertaining back and forth game. Yeah, game 2, game 3, been no messing around from Liquid and very little mistakes.
And they're not messing around anymore. This is the smoke where they hope to get the wipe into then taking major objectives.
So if they can get the catch, make it. See who can find here. He's not going to find either of them. Chrysalis is out with the BKB TP.
Ooh, that was
It was close.
It was kind of close.
It's kind of close.
Kind of close.
I'd give it a 0.2 seconds.
No points. Okay. Yeah, I'd probably lean. Here we go.
I'll have a look here.
I'll have a look. It's important to do these things. I'd lean towards like a, yeah, I'm agreeing 0.2.
I know. Oh, we're not even going to see because back in action, Mickey. He's looking for another catch. Stormer won't let them have it. They'll keep themselves close to one another around the mid. Matu's coming in from the other side. He's going to open things up onto the Bane, and poor old Fishman doesn't stand a chance there. The damage.
Instant song.
They look to surround another. They'll catch Toby here in the ensnare. Spear to come across from the side. A second kill.
And a scythe. Got to get the stacks up. And that's the value of the Agnums, right? It's the fact that you play your song, you then quickly locking them down during the song, getting illusions around them.
Stormer. I mean, Boxy's on his own.
He's got boots of bearing, mate. He's pretty zoomy.
He is. Yeah,
he should
very
be going.
zoomy, but yeah, they got the stuns.
Radiant's middle tower
But Liquid is still coming over here.
They got to get out if you're entity.
What of the Matu? He's going for it. And he's going to get it.
That's a carry v carry, Owen.
And it is, and it wasn't close.
Wasn't close at all. Liquid just sweeping across the map using this 14k advantage, making it feel like it's 41k.
It's a pretty hefty lead here. Matu's got his full Scardy done.
Yeah, there's no way Bloodseeker can take a fight. We just saw a perfect demonstration of the 1v1.
He tried.
It wasn't even close.
I mean, did do some damage, but oh, Mickey has found Stormer.
They don't have Scythe.
See if they've still got the damage with the three of them.
He'll be going down.
Yeah, they certainly do. And meanwhile, Matu's continuing to kill people elsewhere. He's able to wrap around, get his hands on Fishman.
Push mid, guys. Push mid.
Top tower is under attack.
And Matu, he's already got 2,000 gold on top of finishing that Scardy. The money just rolling in for him on his Naga Siren in this game. He's having a great one. Very much proving to be the perfect final pick here for Liquid.
Boxy most likely going to be popping the exorcism, barreling into the high ground. You see here that the net worth it is visually such a disparity.
Mickey's in with a jump. It's aggressive and he has been ruptured. Crystal is holding on committing, but now he's in with the BKB. Curse is down. See what sort of a cleanup they can get. They've found 2 kills. They've also got the grip holding down Zai. They'll find a third.
All right, this
big
is
defense from Entity, and it's not done yet. See if they can chase down Boxy. They'll start to slow him into the silence. The lockdown of the Familiar's Entity. They're holding off against Liquid, despite Liquid having a huge lead. A very well-coordinated defense. I mean, the curse into the Bloodbright working out brilliant there, allowing them to set up for Crystallis to come in with a solid cleanup.
Yeah, it's also the fact that Liquid, their structural damage, it comes from Naga illusions or DPO. Without that, Entity, they're going to be able to slowly defend their high ground.
Yes, a big defense. I mean, he's going to put Crystallis close to his next item. He's nearly got the full me on it.
But they can't get too carried away. They can't suddenly start running across the entire map because Naga is this assassin style of build with the Agnums. You see here. Oh, okay. Lotus Orb. Great pickup to get rid of the root.
And Crystallis has got Rupture in a second, and there's still 3 dead on Liquid.
He wants something. But can he get it?
See Matu turn with the Mjolnir. Crystallis can take down the illusions pretty quickly.
All right, we're seeing Crystallis become a bit, more impactful in that 1v1. I think if we run it back and he has Mjolnir, maybe he could. Maybe he could. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, Entity need to keep this momentum on their side. Even though they're down, chain the kills, use the X, get the Orchid, find pickoffs, allow Bloodseeker to run around.
Zai?
Dire's middle tower
with no grip, he's just playing with a bit more confidence.
I guess, yeah, I was going to say, it was aggressive TP there over towards the outpost. It was on his own, but as you say, nothing. Zai was too worried about catching him. Those ults unavailable.
This is like a rare moment when you're behind, a team makes a mistake, you get a little bit of breathing room on the map, right? Like you get a deep ward out, you get yourself into the game a bit more. And it's how Entity can use that to continue taking the fight. If they sit back in their base, this lead will grow from 9k to 12 to 15. It'll feel pretty bad. So they need to try and just get something on their side. But Liquid, they have this read. They just group up together. You don't need to be doing everything in the game. You hold your triangle, you reset, you re-understand what went wrong in that previous engagement. Of course, diving the tier 3s didn't help. Then you make sure that you fight with your net worth lead. They'll probably just wait for the butterfly, to be fair.
Radiant are scanning.
Well, that's nice from Spider Legs. Does he want to hold on to that Chrysalis?
I can't. Oh, the tunic. Get that tunic in your chief. There we go. Here. Good stuff. Blaster as well is available for Radiant. That'll be pretty nice just to cover yourself from the Naga illusions, but I guess it does get procced pretty easily.
Loaded to the gills.
The neutral wise, nothing too crazy.
What have we here?
Oof. The value of Lotus in this game is incredible. You got the Ensnare of Naga or the Orchids and stuff from the Visage.
Yeah, for both teams.
Yeah.
Now, smoke up from Liquid. I want to try and look for a fight before this Roche spawn. And with the butterfly of MATUMBAMAN, he should be very, very hard to kill.
They've got to guide him out.
Krista immediately reacts with the BKB, the grip as well. They've locked down Boxy. That's Boxy out of the fight. The events team want to look for more. They've got the curse holding the turn to the side here. Zion Mikke. And it does get Lotus, so Christmas ends up killing off his own Kataomi Wyvern.
Then we'll BKB.
Now the BKB ending. Mikke, he's got the lockdown. Spear into the scythe. They take out Chrysalis. He's gone for 70 seconds. Zai ready to chase for more. Matu's in with the ensnare. Buy some time here with the stone form. Stormer trying to hold his own. There'll be a buyback from Kataomi. So anything they could do to save this Visage, it doesn't look like it. Matu tearing into him. He's kiting him up a little bit. Mikke comes in from the side there with a rebuke. A Stormer just a spear away from going down. Or maybe not the cold embrace. They're keeping Stormer alive. Matu will wrap around the back lines, take down Toby. Stormer still living as he's dancing around the edge of this fight. He's actually going to get away to the side. Matu.
Detection? Any detection?
He can't see him with the silence the grave.
How's he seeing him when he's... Oh, all right, yeah, cool. Yeah, he can sleep.
Yeah, Stormer's fine. He actually lives throughout it all.
Matu with the song to try and catch him, but with both supports being dead, they didn't have detection available. Eventually, they do clean up the Wyvern. The entity just kind of showing... Oh,
Stormer can continue to keep himself protected. Got the familiar stuns.
No, he's
Burn out
gone.
Nightmare. Another ensnare. This again, he's living. He's healing up.
What a hero.
I mean, they just can't quite kill him. He's actually going to live back in the fight. Chrysalis is just dying to MATUMBAMAN. Oh, he's got to run. He's got to run. He's solo. He's 1 hit away from dying. The ensnare comes out. Then the jump forward. Chrysalis is gone. No buyback on him. Fishman also dying inside the base. As he has got to buy back himself, but Kataomi and Chrysalis out.
Radiant
And without the Bloodseeker for a full minute, no carry here to help the defense.
Yeah, Liquid no need to reset. Just keep barreling down the towers.
Oh, his buyback's just come back up, actually.
Radiant's
Chrysalis.
It feels awkward about the Wyvern. He might buy back just for buyback's sake, but it's not going to potentially have the value that you really expect it to have.
They probably want to wait for that curse, have that curse set up into the blood right.
Exactly.
Radiant's bottom.
Gives them some sort of a chance. Boxy, he's just playing up underneath the tier 4s here with the illusions of MATUMBAMAN.
And the fight from the other side.
And it's going to take him down here because the buybacks though. Familiar stuns. Ooh, it's defensive disruption. Is that going to get Mikke out? With the song going, Mikke's going to have the safety. They're going up towards the fountain here. They're diving in deep, but it's a great curse into the blood right. And now Chrysalis, he's ready to go to work. That set up there, the curse of the blood right. They're going to start cleaning up. Chrysalis runs down MATUMBAMAN. It's 3 then they turn towards side. They'll get him as well. Triple kill for Chrysalis. Entity, they're not ready to call it yet. They're keeping this game alive.
I mean, I gotta say, I think that's the first time that I have personally seen a Naga Song clutch save a hero and then all 4 of his teammates stand around and go, let's also take the fight, lads. Normally, that type of TP is like, boys, reset, we saved them, we'll smoke up and quickly go again. So Liquid trying to overplay the hand a little bit, maybe didn't respect the potential damage that was there. And
I mean, they were getting very close to the fountain. Obviously, it was a lot of buybacks that had to come out to make that defense happen for Entity. It was a very expensive hold. But those buybacks and that defense means that, yeah, the game's not coming to an end quite yet. Entity, they'll get themselves out on the map. They'll take this Rosha.
And at least they get something from this. If this was a, you know, a little bit of a throw play from Liquid and there was no Aegis available, then I guess Liquid can brush it off. But maybe this Aegis gives them a little bit of breathing room.
We'll see. As I say, no buybacks to make that sort of move again. But they have got the Aegis. And honestly, if another move like that happens to that sort of size, 12k lead, that can very quickly disappear if Entity's able to take another fight against Liquid. They're going to try and make a move whilst Liquid's not all up. But Liquid, they know it. They're staying to their base.
They just need to respect the fact that Bloodseeker early on, the disparity in farm meant he couldn't 1v1 this Naga. But as time builds, with the Mjolnir, with first ticking in, he could potentially run around these fights, getting the key kills.
They've got a full AC on Stormer now as well.
Yeah, like, they're getting the items. They are getting tankier. It's just for Entity to win a fight, it needs to be either Liquid diving incredibly deep, or they're fighting underneath vision so they can dodge this Naga. If they're not doing that, if they're fighting in open terrain, Liquid should win, 9 out of 10 times right now. So like, even though Entity have this moment of like hope, it's also very hard to kind of set up this type of engagement repetitively. We're like, yeah, I would agree we're kind of one fight away if Liquid are to lose. Yeah, from the pro territory.
Like, yeah. If Liquid lose another team fight like that, it's going to be a bit ooh.
But they got one more fight before we go ooh, so...
Yeah, they're still in this spot where MATU is over a full item ahead. The enemy carry over Chrysalis. He's going for the BKB next. Just wants to get that out and be able to pop BKB and the game.
Yeah. Didn't expect to see Liquid 5-manning in their own base in this game of how it started. Sending out the illusions first, getting the D-wards.
And honestly, Entity will be...
they're smoking themselves.
I thought they might continue to chill things out until their buybacks come back up, but no, they want to make a move with the Aegis. It's a big risk, but it's a big reward if they can find a fight.
Rupture onto Mickey, already half HP. No follow-up. Again, like Venomancer, we didn't mention too much, but Lotus Orb very good against the ensnare of Naga. He then went for the Blink Dagger, because his role in the game right now is to blink in, Lotus Orb whoever's ensnared by the Naga, and just get a good ultimate off. Hopefully 2 or 3 heroes. If it's any more, it's a big bonus. And from that, your Visage and Bloodseeker should be able to take over the potential fights if, again, Naga isn't in the area to quickly lock them down. So quite the balance.
Kato, he's making steps towards his Aghanims.
Yeah, BKB complete on Naga Siren. So.
I mean, he's on an entity this game, unfortunately for them.
Let's see if we can see.
Are we seeing any live ping issues on any of the players?
Not really, no. So we're looking good right now.
It's just temporary, sort of flare-ups of the
little spike
thing.
Here and there.
Full Octarine on Mickey.
Those arenas flying. Yeah, unconventional. We just need refresher for the double arena, but fair play. Yeah, this is Liquid's big moment now.
He's got to be careful here. They're going to lose some heroes for sure. If it's just Fishman, they'll be fine.
He doesn't have buyback though, so that is 50.
He's only dead for 50, but they are pushing the lanes out. So.
And realistically, but yeah, this shouldn't really net anything too crazy. They might poke the heads up, but. Excellent disengage from Entity there, only offering up the Bane.
Yeah, no, that really was the best of a bad situation for Entity.
You see Matu being very pesky in the base, sending illusions. 2 to the tower, 2 to the range Rex. See the range one won't re-heal. He wants to slow chip down this tier 3 to replicate that damage in top lane.
Now back to the base defense. I mean, so for Liquid, would you imagine they're just waiting out the Aegis? Yeah,
no, they've done a very methodical job from starting at their base, walking down the map as a kind of a cohort, killing anyone who's out of position, smoking through. They've now put aggressive vision. So Liquid, they're just playing around with this Aegis, not allowing Entity any clean aggressive smoke. And this is the worst thing when you're against Naga Siren. Once she gets to your side of the map, sends illusions to 2 lanes. You're only ever really playing with 1 lane.
And there we go, indeed. In fact, the first time in this patch, we've not seen anyone else experiment with the Octarine.
A bit surprised I saw it, to be honest, Chief. Normally it's like refresher or
refresher, right? Yeah.
Maybe like a Deso or something if you're going a bit more, flicky. Sure, get the cooldowns flying, a little bit more cast range.
Yeah, we'll see how well it works out. But I mean, obviously, the big thing that's going to be lacking that you pretty much would see at this stage, it's just having that double BKB chance, right? Yeah. So the limited the one-time use now of the BKB in the team fights might come back to bite Mickey.
Playing extremely patient. They put the illusions up the high ground, they don't put any heroes there. Everyone else just remains on the fringe of the fight.
Yeah, the Aegis has gone now, right? Yeah.
If the wrong entity hero steps up to kill off that illusion, that's when you see that initiation and you see the fight. But
with the moments passing as well, we'll check on the buybacks, and it's probably going to be coming up in just a minute. And Entity's going to be back in the same situation where they were before, so they're obviously stronger than they were in comparison to Liquid the last time Liquid dove them. And having the buybacks back up in under a minute. So, Liquid, they've really got to be careful with the dives. They've got to be very methodical with the high ground siege. If they start playing around near the fountain again, they very potentially could lose the team fight. Entity have shown us a few times now, but the Winter Curses of Kataomi, they've got very good setup to counter the initiation from Liquid.
And this might be trivial, but a nice little interaction because he has the ninja gear on Mickey.
Yep.
He is constantly running around Octarine as well with a cooldown, getting himself into aggressive position. It's like, this is a beautiful position to be in.
Jumping the Wyvern would be pretty big. Kataomi's been quite a nuisance. He does have buyback though, of course. These buybacks, Liquid have to be so careful about how they push into.
It's death by 1,000 cuts at this point. It's just allow Matu to play his game and Liquid just be ready in case something happens. Look, Boxy, little tickle here, little tickle there. And now just disengage.
Oh, Mickey's in. But he's not going to catch anyone. And he's not going to catch anyone. Now they've got to be careful. No arena for 40 seconds. As Entity will happily continue with the hold. Liquid almost having to just wait for that ult to come back up, but now we are at that point. Everybody would buy back on Entity. Stormer, he's coming out of the base. Got him with the spear, they've got him with the sight. Fully committing here for the Visage. They've got the detection. That Stormer gone. Dies outside of the base. A risky position for him to head into. I mean, we saw how unkillable he was before. Maybe he felt that he'd be able to pull off the same sort of moves, but it wasn't the case there.
Nikkei just role-playing collapse with a budget Magnus style. Go in, spear out. Reposition and kill.
Let's see if Liquid can force out the buyback from Stormer. Nikkei's ready with the jump. He's in. There's the Blink Arena. BKB comes out with the snares there to help lock Chrysalis down. Coda Brace comes through as well. Quick disruption, buys some safety here for Mickey and Chrysalis. As BKB's come to an end. Got to be careful again, held back by the ensnare. Boxy's being run down by the familiars. In fact, he may just tick out. The poison damage is hurting. So they've got enough sustain to keep him fine. With the shard of the Naga Siren, Matu keeps his team alive. They'll back off and managed to make a bit of progress there, Liquid, in terms of getting the buyback out from Stormer. And even with that, we're very much seeing the struggles for Liquid to try and close this game up.
It's just the product of kind of late game Naga when there is a little bit more of a punch to the enemy now. Now that they have the items, they can't clean just walk up and take a building. Yep. There isn't that innate structural damage. So they are hoping to draw the fight bottom, send the illusions top. And I think Liquid, the fact they got the Visage buyback at the start, they're probably going to use that as, okay, reset, wait for everyone to have ultimates, and we'll go again. And I just hope Entity, in this moment of kind of air that has entered the game, they should look to try and get out of their base. They've been hugging their base now for like the last 5-6 minutes. If they can get out, take a fight, maybe. But it is so difficult because running into the open space, like I mentioned earlier, into a Naga, you're also going to probably get kited. So it's so difficult. If you leave your base, you might lose. You probably will lose the fight. If you stay in the base, you get out farmed. It feels like a losing situation. An Entity, they need Liquid to overplay their hand to feel like they can enter this game.
Okay, he's watching this from the side. He might look for the jump.
Just perma ninja gear. He's just always in smoke. Maybe not now, but about 10 seconds he'll be back into the shadows.
And I'll tell you what, the refresher for Chrysalis, it's going to be pretty huge, right? Especially in a game where nobody on Liquid side has got that double BKB. Now, 2 rounds of the BKB, the potential of this Bloodseeker is very, very high.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, he can rupture the Naga Siren, BKB to commit to the engagement, refresh and go again. We're not seeing like a Mars that has a Satanic or his own sustain in his own way. He's very utility style. I'd love them to contest this Roshan.
Well, some quick trivia there.
About 71.
56, and that would be about 972 gold.
What calculator gone? Let's see.
Radiant's
close.
top
Yeah, I was
tower
Crap.
got a voice.
Oh, it's a lot of money. Look, yeah, Bloodseeker.
I mean, if we divide
2k gold this game from killing illusions.
Divide your number by 2, add it to mine. We're kind of getting somewhat close. UK maths, lol. All right, Entity, they are contesting though. This is...
Oh boy, it's risky at this stage, though, especially when Crystallis is playing with so much unspent gold. Obviously, he wants to have the buyback available before he really starts buying into Refresher.
And Liquid, they're just moving themselves into a position where they can contest Roshan through Naga having illusions in the other lanes, forcing it into the base of Entity. So they have to have this awkward choice of go for Rosh or defend the base. And they're postured also for the kill.
Entity not showing anyone in the mid. Liquid not finding the jump that they want with this smoke setup. Or maybe Stormstormer.
Ooh, I'm surprised.
Oh.
He got Maelstrom, mate. He could have gone for a BKB, but he actually went for the Maelstrom after all these items. So a little bit interesting. BKB could have been a nice little power spike to go for.
Yeah, I guess just wants his extra little bit to help push back the stronger creeps.
Exactly.
Clear out the illusions a bit.
100% that's the case.
I mean, dude, they're going into Rosh.
They're trying.
Oh,
It's pretty quick.
How quick can they do it here?
They're
doing it pretty quick.
This is bold.
Tyson is ready to try for the stop to it, but Crystallis is committed with the BKB. Can they get anyone else in the pit to make Crystallis has fallen pretty low. Crystallis tries to tap, but they're coming in with the song. Matthew steps over. Liquid, they get the kill, they get the Aegis pick up on MATUMBAMAN. The curse, it is out, but Crystallis is so low there. Anyway, getting this Bloodseeker out of there. They're trying to keep him alive with the cold embrace, but Crystallis, he'll fall as Liquid. They'll keep the fight going. Buybacks are coming out from Entity. Toby's dead for 110 seconds on the high ground. Liquid, they'll find Kataomi. God's rebuke from Mikke takes him down. The Liquid, they get there in time. They get into the pit, which was very, very close to Entity getting away with such a clutch move.
Zai, I clutched that fight so hard. He used his shard, the Death Seeker, to apply it to the Roshan, so then Bloodseeker couldn't get the final right clicks needed to get the kill. Yeah. It was a matter of like a couple thousand HP. Bloodseeker would have ripped through it before Liquid got in time, but he blinks in, the link is already popped, Ethereal's Roshan, and that just buys enough time to get the song off and do it. So yeah, clutch play from Zai there to prevent what was a very cheeky.
Yeah,
we're going to sit here. Look at that. See, look, he's Death Seeker, and by that point, he's already too far away. The arena beautifully placed with that. So Zai, MVP once again of the Roche fight. Just
are under attack.
very clutch little play there to allow Liquid the necessary time to get in. We got to see the double arena. And at that point, it's devastating. You can't fight like that in the open area.
No, they took a big risk. See them come together for the final fight, the final defense here. Put the refresher, Crystallis put the BKB, but Matu's in on top of it. They can't get Crystallis back to safety. As Crystallis is down for 2 minutes. Matu, oh no, they'll protect him with the disruption. He may not even go down the once. As Matu's still alive, Stormstormer, Fishman of Kataomi on the way back to the base. Zai is in with the chase. The cold embrace won't save Fishman. The Death Pulse takes him down. Kataomi's a good curse, but this time he doesn't have his Bloodseeker up ready to come in with the follow-up. It's enough to kill off Mikke. See what more they can get. I mean, Liquid, again, they're playing dangerously close to the fountain, but they know that there's no buyback on Crystallis. They'll have Toby back up in 5 seconds. Can they really hold this Entity? Kataomi is onto Boxy. He has been able to take him down. I mean, Kataomi's he's doing some work here. He's doing some work, and honestly, that might be enough to keep the game alive for another minute.
Mega Creeps full.
Let's see if they can keep this up at the three of them, Kataomi, Toby, and Stormstormer. Matu's low.
They don't want to kill him. If they kill him, he's full HP, full back in the place.
They're just trying to keep him off the tier 4s.
Exactly.
And Liquid, they are backing off. So once again, Liquid, they're getting a step closer to the victory, but it's not quite theirs yet.
A beautiful voice line from Entity as well. They understand they just got Mega Creeps. They're down by 30k gold. Nice little panic coming into play. But okay, we are potentially going to see one little last hurrah from Entity. Bloodseeker, 30 seconds to the respawn.
No, they're absolutely not. They're not going down without quite a fight. Multiple fights here. Entity.
It's only got Arda now. They could barely leave their base.
Oh, hey, there you go. So Stormstorm with the mouse. He wants to. Okay, he was thinking about it. Maybe getting the glide near for a bit more control. Now switched up to the boots of bearing. I've got to say, yeah, Katomi was making some great moves on the Wyvern on that defense.
A nice clutch cold embraces, going aggressive with the curse, yeah. It's a really hit and miss here. I think so far in the game it's been mildly a miss because they've been under a threat against a Naga, sorry, not too good. But when you have those moments, when there's a little bit of clumping and grouping, for sure, it'll always shine.
I wonder what's in on the win probability. I mean, I'd give him a 2% hit.
Throw him a 1%.
A 1%. Yeah, it's a 1%.
Yeah. They were all with an iron fist with this percentage lot. They're not
well, they did hit 0. That 0's turned back to a 1. Which should have mathematically been correct. For someone's a 0% chance of winning, you know, you can't backtrack on that, Val, but they did.
Addition is the thing.
They were like, nobody saw that. We never said 0. We gave them 1.
All right, Liquid. Try and convert that 1 back to a 0.
45 seconds until the Aegis leaves the hands of MATUMBAMAN.
Yeah, and if you don't want to force it too much if you're Liquid. Like, you're not rushing this one.
Oh, Mickey.
Oh, maybe they are.
He's looking for an aggressive wraparound. Stormstormer has got the grind in, but Mickey's in with the lead. Look with the spear, look at the hex, the side. Stormstormer, he's taken out, but he's gone buyback. Uses it straight away. Second side comes in onto Christmas, but it's not enough damage. He's out. He's fine with the BKB, removes the ensnare. He's okay. As Entity, they continue to hold. They kill off Boxy. Liquid are going to have to back off. They won't get another chance to push him with this Aegis. It's about to time out.
Oh, this game's kind of awkward because, you know, at this point of the game isn't clean. It's like, imagine playing Nature's Prophet, right? You've taken the racks. How do you take the tier 4s? It's kind of awkward. And Liquid, you can kill Visage and these heroes by fishing. But Chrysalis, he didn't use his refresher there.
He did.
And there was a moment where he quickly cleared through those illusions with ease. I think this is a great lead for Liquid. It's their game. Like, this should just be eventually their win. But you can see these moments where if they overplay their hand, if they overcommit, get a bit hasty, if they rush these final minutes, then maybe this Bloodseeker could run around and do stuff. But
I mean, let's be honest. We're probably going to sit and wait for the Roche, right, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 minutes, they'll wait for Roche.
More of you.
I mean, last time I said you can go make a cup of tea, the game did end it.
Did we just see what with that talent pick is a 0% win rate?
Oh,
I think on the Visage, is that what we just had?
Oh, no, go back to the Visage. We need to see which. I mean, to be fair, has he played enough games?
Oh, there we go. I think what we have, yeah, so I guess from the numbers, we've had it in 3 games played.
And they've always lost. And he just.
It's only been picked in 1 other game, and it was a loss.
Ah, well, stats don't lie.
Let's have a look. Can Stormstormer break that 0% win rate?
Can they come back from 31k behind? Mega creeps. What's Valve saying? No.
Still the 1%.
I mean, it's not improved.
1% ain't a no.
I mean, if this is a 1%,
it's a very loud no, but not quite a, not 100% no.
I'd give this like a 2.5 on a good day. 2.5%. Or 3.22% if you're being specific. All right, they're back in again.
Minute and a half to Chrysalis has buyback.
It's quite a long time.
Oh, they got the Hex. They're going to get him out there. Cold comes out. Mickey's tried in with the jump, but the protection was there to keep Chrysalis safe from the initiation of Mars. Mickey has to back off with the BKB. That's Matu. He's having to use the song. They're a little concerned that Mickey was going to go down. He just still have the refresher in the second BKB to use Mickey. So good luck to jump back in. Boxy tries going with the silence, but he's been ruptured.
They're just struggling to get into the base at this point. The illusions aren't as strong as they were. And Entity, they have so much wave clear through the Mjolnir, the Gleipnir, the Winter Wyvern to some degree.
Yeah, no, they're clearing the waves out.
And it's only like one lane really coming in. Every time Liquid's engaged, it's been down kind of the central column. They've not had to think about multiple lanes coming in. This is the weirdest 30k lead I've ever seen in probably this DPC season thus far. Oh, don't say it's another game-losing 25 talent choice. No, he picked the correct one. He went left.
Solid 50%. Whew. I mean, it is a...
I mean, it's a very good talent this time.
It is. I could see, honestly, both are being appealing to Katomi because he's hit some great curses.
Yeah, I'd go for the curse against, like, Lifestealers and Trolls and more clunkier melees. Maybe not the Naga. Alright. Will Liquid attempt to siege again? Or will they
I mean,
wait
they're
for
going to
the
back
imminent
off for Roche. Surely, I think they're going to back off for Roche. This is proven to be too hard to break the high ground confidently.
I honestly don't know if this is going to help Liquid get into the base, you know? Like, maybe you can send Matu in, but I'm still going to see the same wave clearing. Question is, does Entity...
Because yeah, for Liquid side of things, is there any item that we're getting close to that really changes their ability to siege?
I mean, I'm not seeing anything come out which is like, oh, that's some great siege. Maybe some tier 6 neutral items, some Fallen Skies, some Necromonicon style situations. But right now, if you were to ignore the net worth, the kills, and the time, Liquid aren't able to enter the base. They have mega creeps, but they are just struggling from hitting the tier 4s.
A little surprising that Matu hasn't opted to buy himself the Moonshard. He's got enough for that and buyback. I wonder if maybe there's also just sort of the consideration of if a Refresher Orb would be a better item to slip in as a 7th for him here.
Yeah, I think at this point in the game, one wrong item choice can feel really bad, especially if, let's say, this 32k lead becomes a 25k. You know, if it slowly starts slipping away in a very abnormal world, he'd like to have the gold to be able to flex his itemization to change up where needed.
Well, Roshan is up, and in this situation, we're probably not going to see Entity get anywhere close to contesting this. This should just be Liquid, and I think Entity, you know, they've got bigger problems to deal with the Megas pushing in. They've got to continue to just hold and prepare themselves to, again, just take the defensive from their base, right up by the Ancient.
A lot of gold! So, alright, so we're into the point where 60 minutes about to come in. 31k lead plus Ags is going to jump up to like 37k gold lead. How is Liquid going to approach this?
I mean, who's taking the Aegis? Like, is there any sort of cute play that you can go for in regards of who throws their body in twice?
In an ideal world, you want the person that can hit the buildings, and they don't really have that on their lineup, so I honestly don't mind it going onto Necro. Make it a little bit more tanky. You just basically throw them into the middle of the fight, you waste some key spells from Entity, and then you kind of amass. I'd like to see Liquid approach his high ground a little bit differently, get the illusions in the side lanes, push in multiple mega creeps at the same time, then enter the engagement. Right now, they've only been doing it down that single lane.
Well, let's check the buybacks. I imagine we're getting the buybacks all back up for Entity, right?
Just 2 minutes, 2 minutes for Stormstormer.
Oh, make it.
He wants to go fishing.
Gonna take a lot of damage. Side's gonna commit in. Goes straight away with the side onto Crystallis, but it won't be enough damage. Crystallis there to get the BKB off. He's gonna turn over one side. Side's been caught up by the Feast Grid. They lock him down. That side down the once. Over once the side can't he's been found. And by the time the corner is healing back up. Foxy will jump over. Happens that the man's got to finish. But if off in time they can. Cantomi goes down. The buyback comes out. Crystallis in with the BKB committing over one side. The back is there. The court side. He's gonna go down. There's no Necrophos.
Buyback.
Teammate can't put the refresher. He's going to be ready to jump back in for a second round. They've got the song of the Siren holding down. Crystallis there in with the spear follow. They've locked him down into the arena. The Nightmare will come out, but he still goes down. He's got buyback available, Crystallis, but Stormstormer's out for good. Dead for 2 minutes. To get Liquid, trying to take the fight up towards the fountain. Crystallis back in action, but it's 3 versus 5 here.
Radiant's middle
Liquid finally broke through Entity.
Is there anything they can do as the 3 of them? No BKB for 30 seconds. Eye jumping in. Fortification will come out. Only one tier 4 left standing. Crystallis caught by the silence. He's lost another ally. Cat's Army goes down. Crystallis taken out. Liquid this time they've done it. GG's called it.
What a game! Again, it was like Liquid winning it for most of it, but Entity doing such a good job at making it all like that lead just was never there. And at the very end of that